Low key, I know this video is just gonna make me mad, so I'm not super excited. But you read the title. Here we go. Second edition. Let's go.
Um, just learn from them. Learn from them. See what their opinions were.
What was the
So
context?
validating to see them.
Oh yeah,
going
yeah.
to number one, talk about it online, and number two, be open. Be open to kind of talking about it in a community. Like the comment section is my favorite. It's the best, especially when it hits the right audience. It's truly just like support and encouragement. And
That's the thing, bro. Like, this mindset is so dangerous. If you don't remember the last episode, I think I talked about this a little bit at the end. Basically, what she said. Can you hear my fucking washing machine? Basically, what she's saying is she posted some content online, and when it finally reached the right audience, she got the support and shit she'd been wanting and looking for. And all of the comments are supportive. This is called confirmation bias. I said this in the last episode. Bro, if I talk about how murdering people is dope as fuck and like I just love it, and then I reach a community of a bunch of sociopaths, does it make murdering virtuous? No. No, taking innocent lives is not a virtuous act. But if I meet a bunch of people who think the same as me, that doesn't make my ideas correct. You know what I'm saying?
and advice being thrown back and forth, and nothing but just like all of us holding hands around a tree.
And why do you think it is that there are so many people who feel so connected to you? Do you think it's a sort of reflection of a lot of the misogyny that still exists today, that so many women feel that they themselves have been put in a similar circumstance of being, you know, labelled as certain things or stereotyped or fetishized? And so I guess to follow up on that, but sort of very rudely before we even answer that question, how do you envisage we move beyond that?
Is this the 2 questions at a time where I can skip one?
Yeah, you can skip one of them if it's bad.
No, sorry, say it again.
So firstly, do you think that because so many women find all of your media outputs so relatable, that that's a statement
Not so many, certain women.
about the huge misogyny that exists?
Oh,
in the world?
absolutely. I think that seeing the overwhelming reaction of how many people can relate to me was also very jarring for me, because I hope no one can ever relate to me. That makes me so sad. That makes me so scared for the human race and for mankind in general.
Oh God.
That's exactly what it is. I think that it's not a very niche story when you look at the big picture. The big picture is being insecure, feeling ashamed, feeling inadequate, and struggling with personal boundaries.
And how do you think as a society we can overcome?
When is she going to take responsibility? Guys, she hasn't said, I regret doing that. I think she said she regrets doing it, but she didn't say, I fucked up. Me. I did it. She hasn't said that. She's blamed everybody else. She's blamed the white men in the room who were pushing her to do it, even though she drove her car there and signed the fucking contract. She blamed everybody but herself. Everybody. No responsibility has been taken. She's blamed circumstance. Not her own naivety. Not her own ignorance. Which, if I was her, and I was fucking 35 or however old she is, I would have figured out to do that by now.
Obviously, those all
So sad, bro.
individual battles people go with, but they result from societal problems which inflict those mental states on us.
That's true, yeah.
How do you suggest, as a society, what kind of attitudes would you like to see, promoted more
This is a good question.
for us growing up?
I want to hear your fucking answer. That's a good
More
question.
acceptance, more empathy,
Whoa,
more
whoa,
patience.
whoa, 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 whoa. All right. I'm gonna let her finish, but blanket acceptance is toxic. I'm gonna let her finish. I have to be fair. I have to let her finish her point. So.
For us growing up.
More acceptance, more empathy, more patience, more understanding, more
Understanding's a good one.
talking about it. talking about it in general just makes it less of something that happens behind closed doors, like locker room talk and feelings of inadequacy. Like, women should talk to each other. Women should support each other.
Whoa. Okay, hold on. They should, obviously. No shit. However, comma. It depends on what you're doing as a woman or a man. Depends on what you're fucking doing. If my friend is doing drugs 7 nights a week, I'm not going to support him. I'm not going to hold his hand. Hey, nice job, bro. Hey, let's talk about the drugs you did. I accept those drugs that you're doing. I am understanding of you doing those drugs. No, I'm gonna hit him and do like nigga, what are you doing? Stop it. You have a problem. You need to cut the fuck out before you ruin your life. That's what I'm gonna say. Maybe she's a different person. Maybe she's promoting a different fucking agenda of blanket acceptance regardless of the circumstances and regardless of who you are and regardless of the responsibility that you should bear as a fucking human being. Maybe that's what she's promoting. I disagree. I think you're fucking responsible for what you do. You're responsible for your actions. You're responsible for your past. She doesn't think that. I think you're fucking responsible for your circumstances that you're in. And you should be able to fucking change them and recognize that. The first step to changing your circumstance is to recognize you're in a bad circumstance. And her ideology and her prerogative is to say, okay, whatever circumstance you're in, I support you because you're a woman and you have a vagina and fucking it doesn't matter what you're doing, but we just need to talk about it and then it'll be okay. No, you're fucking up. If you're doing porn, you're fucking your life up. It's that simple. It's truly that simple. You're making a lot of money and you're fucking your life up. You're fucking it up. It's that fucking simple. It's not, oh, okay, it's cool. You're a victim of circumstance. No, stop. Stop doing it. Cut it out. Like, end it. Stop it. $109 BPM.
Men should ask us questions. Like, you should be curious about how you can make us feel comfortable and what makes us uncomfortable, and having those conversations and opening those doors is the most important thing.
What is her topic? Because in general, yes, I think, yeah, that's a good point. Like, yeah, men should definitely give a fuck about women. Pretty basic, bare minimum there.
It's uncomfortable, and having those conversations and opening those doors is the most important thing.
Absolutely. And, on that, we'll move very shortly onto the Q&A, and we hope to have,
Oh, nice. Nice. I hope a lot of women ask her questions. Ooh.
Encourage everyone to engage in the conversation. But a few final questions. I think you donated a huge amount of money to Lebanon.
Pretty cool. Good job. Nice. Mia Khalifa, nice. Thumbs up to you. Two thumbs up. Good job. How much money did Mia Khalifa donate to Lebanon? $100,000 in December 2021. 9 months. 9 months ago. This was the 2023. $100,000. $100,000. Cool. Where'd you get that money from? Your job? What's your job? Good donation. I mean, if you're going to do porn, at least fucking donate it to a good cause.
Initially, there was a negative reaction to that.
Yeah.
And I just wanted you to tell us a bit about that and how you're...
Why is there negative... Okay, I will say that's some pussy shit. Like, money's money. Just take it. Like, especially if you're in fucking Lebanon. Take the money. Who cares what comes from? Kidding me?
Your relationship with your home country has changed over your life, and how you feel about Lebanon now.
Her home country?
I mean, that's home. I feel very disconnected from it, but at the same time, I feel a strong urge to be as connected as I possibly can at all times to it. The initial reaction was, we don't want your dirty money.
Well, you wonder why that is? It's one of the consequences of your actions. Is your own fucking home country dispels your greed, or your good deed. Literally, imagine there's so much dirt on your name where you can't even donate 100 bands to your home country. They literally won't take it. How bad do you have to fuck up, bro? Like, think about that. Like, how bad? Think about that. Like, 100 bands to a country in need. They said no. They said get fucked.
Which the Red Cross didn't agree with. Thank God. They were like, actually, we'll take your money. We don't care where it came from. So that was a little I actually did not expect that when it happened. And usually I'm pretty good at like looking 10 steps ahead and understanding what's about to come my way.
Oh yeah, like when you, I don't even have to say it.
Nothing ever really shocks me anymore, but that jolted me a little bit. Didn't shock me, but was a little surprised.
Jolt and shock are synonymous.
The reaction following that was overwhelmingly supportive, and a lot of people in Lebanon came to my defense and very much shut it down, which gave me a lot of hope. In the last few years, I feel like my relationship with the people in Lebanon has gotten stronger. I've been actually talking to people instead of just seeing the things that I see online. I've been going on podcasts that are based in Beirut, and
Mia Khalifa Beirut podcast. I feel kind of bad for Mia Khalifa. Actions have consequences. Yep. Okay. There's a lot of podcasts here. This is 9 months ago. 3.7 billion views. It's been a day of Mia Khalifa. Here's another one. 3 months. We'll look at it. Might look at it later. Who knows?
Speaking to journalists over there and just speaking to people who I respect and admire and whose thoughts I think are actually going to be impactful over there and make change. And they are not of the mindset of people who are saying that they don't need my money.
Yeah, absolutely. And finally, what's next for you? What are you excited about in the coming months, years, and where do you see the rest of your life going?
Well, I'm launching a jewelry line, so I'm really excited about that. It's really, really scary to be a first-time business owner. I've been an LLC for a while, which in America is like when you yourself are a corporation, but actually launching a tangible business is really scary. And what I see myself doing for the rest of my life is that. And I'm so excited to have created something that I can put my hands on and give to my future children one day.
And what bits of that, what's sort of the ethos behind that brand, and how does it speak to you?
Wait, is she still married? Mia Khalifa marriage. Mia Khalifa separated in 2020. So married for a year. So she is currently single. Second marriage, third marriage, engaged 20. Brags about her 2 divorces. Oh, nice.
Person.
Well, it's called shaitan, which means devil in Arabic, and it's very much just a big middle finger to just most men in the Middle East.
On that note, I think we should all give you a round of applause.
And a lot of women respect you here in the Midwest. You're a very respected public figure, so your opinion matters.
So far.
Hey! All right. Nice. Woo! Yeah. Okay. Sarah. Oh! Yeah. Okay. Nice. Woo!
And we'll now look to questions from the audience.
How long was that applause? 02?
It's because I think we should all give you a round of applause.
That was 30 full seconds. That's a long applause. I don't know about that.
It's because we've got such an amazingly packed house tonight, so we're going to do these conference style. So we're going to get the microphone over to one person and then to another, and then Mia will answer both at once, and then we'll go back just to speed things up.
At what?
Well, you just one at a time. As in, we'll see how it goes. That's the plan. Or do you want to just do one at a time? Is that
No, go
okay,
ahead.
let's go. We're testing this. But the member in the red on the front row.
Well, hi. Firstly, I just wanted to say...
Yo, who's this? Holy mink. $10,000 shoes. Actually, I hope she's wearing the Sambas. That'd be pretty epic, but I doubt it. Okay, shades inside, criminal in the crowd. It's probably one of her friends. Definitely one of her friends.
Thank you so much for coming here and speaking today. I think you're genuinely the epitome of modern day progressive feminism. You are.
If Mia... if Mia, meat in her mouth, wearing a hijab Khalifa, is the epitome of modern American...
Here and speaking today, I think you're genuinely the epitome of modern day progressive feminism.
If she is the epitome of modern day progressive feminism, what does that tell you about modern day progressive feminism? What does that tell you, dude? This is your mascot. This is your representation. Either she's directly insulting modern day American feminism, or she genuinely thinks Mia Khalifa is a hero. And I don't know which is funnier.
You are really an inspiration. The fact you've been able to turn away from the exploitation of the industry and expose it.
Exploitation of the industry and expose it. No responsibility here.
For what it is, and just...
She should have said, it's crazy that you were able to come forward and expose your life story and talk about how you've taken responsibility and changed your life. But she didn't say that. She exposed the exploitation of the industry, which we knew is fucking there.
Kind of come out of your shell and inspire others who have just been struggling in the same line of work. But I just wanted to ask...
Get out of the line of work.
How do you think that the fetishization in the porn industry can be dealt with, because that is one of the main issues that face sex workers today, and I know you yourself experienced it by being forced to wear a hijab during your line of work. So how do you think that can be?
Forced. Go home. Say no. Idiot.
Dealt with and just handled today.
Okay, first of all, she used the word fetishization of sex workers in tandem. Literally, and I mean this literally, what do you expect? You work in sex work. Of course somebody's going to fetishize you, whatever you sexually. That's kind of, get this, the fucking point. So what problem is there to solve? Are we supposed to, are people who watch porn supposed to watch it with a cup of tea in their hand and like a cigar and go, oh my god, the delicacy of this episode of my brother catches me stuck in a fucking laundry machine. Look at the way she approaches this situation. What a quaint evening. Bro, of course, it's a fetishization thing. That's the point. Like, that's what it is. It's porn. They're trying to make it weird. That is it. It's not a problem you solve. You don't do porn. You don't do sex work. It's not an issue. It's not.
First of all, thank you. I love your dress. You look so beautiful. Thank you. But that is up to us. It's about consumption. It's about choosing. There's nothing wrong with porn. There's
a lot wrong with porn. I could explain it to you, but it's going to take me a very long time, and I might do that in a separate video. But there are things wrong with porn. It's not going to kill you, but consumption doesn't benefit you. So, she's wrong, again. Baseless claim. Classic Mia Khalifa. I mean, Sarah.
Consumption. It's about choosing. There's nothing wrong with porn.
Your credentials are what? You've done porn? This is like me being a recovering heroin addict and I still do pills sometimes and being like, there's nothing wrong with heroin. It's literally fine. Like what the fuck? Like you just have to be careful about what heroin you consume and like who you get it from, because there's a lot of, exploitation in the drug business. You know what I'm saying? So if you got a good drug dealer, doing heroin is like okay. How stupid does that fucking sound?
There's a choice you make when you go to consume it. Do you want to consume it ethically, or do you want to support corporations that fetishize cultures and women and all of these things, and it's not just fetishization. It's so much deeper than that, because the verbiage that they use when they're even writing the description
Dude,
it's
crazy. It's crazy as fuck.
So racist.
It is.
And perpetuates violence against these groups.
Yeah,
and
definitely does.
It very much starts with us, how we consume it, what we decide to promote, what we decide to give our money to, what we decide to give clicks to, because even if you're not paying for it, there are ads that run on the sides of these websites, so they are getting paid for it. So it's just about consciously shopping.
The member right at the back, just
Porn
on
expert.
By the door.
Pornography expert here. Nice.
Thank you. First thing I want to say, أهلين فيكي في أكسفورد، إن شاء الله عجبيتك.
حبيبي, thank you so much.
وشكرا على كل الفيديوهات عن فلسطين. As someone who is.
أنا دم فلسطين.
دمك فلسطين.
والله. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم.
Secondly, I want to ask, you spoke about going to the US, when you were young, and the perception of your nationality as an Arab, and obviously it did I'm sure it made it really difficult for you. So I want to ask about how your kind of connection with that identity changed over time, but also a lot of young people right now, for example, I came to the UK when I was 16.
That girl is fucking beautiful. I can't stop staring at her. I'm sorry. She's an attractive woman.
On my own. And
on his
same
own?
thing with UK when I was 16.
Damn.
On my own. And same thing with the rest of my family, with my young sister, sorry. So how do you what do you advise the young people who are coming to a new kind of country with new culture and kind of trying to adjust without kind of feeling insecure about missing that kind of cultural knowledge and kind of their identity as an Arab, really? Thanks.
No, thank you. I hope that everyone who comes to this country from the Middle East never goes through that period where they suppress their identity and their culture, and that internalized racism that they feel from being different and from wanting to assimilate too much. There's nothing wrong with wanting to fit in, but one of my biggest regrets is not embracing who I am and where I come from and what I am until my mid to late 20s. I'm very regretful of that, because I feel like I wasted so much time in my younger years hating who I was because I wasn't the same. And the older you get, the more you realize that's you, that's your lineage, it's your blood. It's so nice to feel connected to that and to maintain that and to nurture it and be able to pass it down to your future children.
Please don't have kids.
Habibi.
To the member just here, in the third row. You just.
Thank you so much for being here. And by the way, your outfit is so cool. Can I just say that? You look amazing. You spoke earlier about therapy and starting it and how you helped. And even though therapy is a lot more mainstream nowadays, there's still a lot of societal taboo, cultural taboo that comes with that. So what advice would you give to someone who wants to start out in therapy and maybe is scared because their family or their friends or the community doesn't approve of that? And what sort of advice do you have for them? Thank you.
Don't fucking tell them. What? Don't tell them. Don't go to therapy. If you feel like someone around you or your family member is going to judge you for going to therapy, they need therapy. That's my advice. No, anyone who will judge you for going to therapy has things that they do not want to face about themselves and probably don't want you to find out about them.
That's true. I do fuck with therapy.
Thank you.
I've never been. I don't need it.
To the member on the front row, just there, and
yeah, if you feel like you need therapy or you fucking want help and you can't do it alone, definitely ask. I don't go to therapy, but I ask for help when I need it with shit, which is very rare. But when I need it, I fucking ask. So it's like, mentally, you're not a genius. It's best to talk to people who know more than you and see what go on with that. But yeah, don't be afraid of therapy. She's right. It's pretty stigmatized, especially with men, because we are supposed to be stronger than women. A woman will leave you if you're too weak for her. It's just how it is. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Why would she stay, right? But that fear, and primarily the fear of, looking weak amongst peers and in society in general, kind of drives men to stay away from asking for help with shit that's mental or shit that they should be technically expected to figure out on their own. But it's like, niggas don't know everything, so ask for help every now and again. Especially, that's why it pays to be a bro, because like your boys will ask you for shit, ask you how they should feel about a certain thing, because sometimes you just don't fucking know. You're just out there and you're hanging out and you don't want to make the wrong decision. So boys, I will say, go to therapy, and if you don't trust people around you, she's right, don't tell them. Just don't tell them. But if you can afford it and you think you need it and nobody has to know, what do you have to lose,
Nowadays, more and more content on OnlyFans is generated by AI and AI, artificial intelligence, and also sex dolls are getting better. Do you think it can come to a point where real sex workers will become marginalized because of technology?
Good question.
God, I fucking hope not. There's nothing scarier than AI and where it's headed.
What? I think there is no better reality where porn bots. First of all, why is you better laugh?
God, I fucking hope not. There's nothing scarier than AI and where it's headed. I'm really, really scared that it's going to be similar to cryptocurrency where...
Keep it in, bro. Okay. If sex work died, the world would be a better place. It's that simple. But it's not, ever. So a good solution would be replace all the actual women who are ruining their lives and destroying their lives and bodies with robots, so that these women can stay pure and, not have regrets in the future and be groomed at a young age and be, let's say, what's that word? Manipulated or whatever, allegedly, right? So if that's a problem, just get them all out and then just replace them with robots. Imagine if you could replace all homeless people with robots and you'd still have homeless people, and then just homeless people just have homes. And then just be robot homeless people. Why would you not do that? That doesn't make any sense to solve the problem. Because I understand some women choose to go into it, but it's like, do you really get it? Do you really get what you're doing? Especially if you become popular. One of the things that's interesting is, I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot. I know, it's getting boring. I know, I'm sorry. One of the things that's interesting is there's millions of women that do porn. There's a lot, right? OnlyFans and bullshit like that. But Mia Khalifa is the one that you know. So it's crazy because it's crazy because you don't want to become world famous as a porn star, but you want to make money. Because if you become world famous, you're fucked after you're done, right? You're going to do shit like this and embarrass yourself online. But if you don't become famous, then you won't make the money that you desire. So it's like, what happy medium do you want? I don't know. Just thinking out loud.
The technology is going to advance faster than the legislation surrounding it. And once things like that happen, it's very hard to put it back in the box. So my answer is no. And I don't think that real people are going to be marginalized from AI, but I do think that where AI is headed can be very dangerous.
Well, they're definitely going to be marginalized. Eliminated, no, but marginalized, certainly. Yes. Like 100% marginalized, yes, for sure. But eliminated, no. Like there'll still be like people that want to fuck warm pussy, but bots are definitely going to take some of the cake. Not all of it, but a great deal of it.
But no, I don't think there's ever not going to be a demand for like a real human person.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sex work expert, Mia Khalifa.
The member just back there in the orange shirt, yes.
All right, I know I'm hating, but
Yes.
whatever haircut this is not gonna is it's a haircut.
Thank you for coming here. It's a pleasure to meet you. You said you felt like you couldn't say no about the hijab in the industry.
Ooh, is this the guy with the balls? Is this the guy with the fucking balls? I like the way this question's being framed.
You said you felt like you couldn't say no about the hijab in the industry. I just wanted for you to expand on that and kind of touch on the basis of how do you feel about your impact coming from Lebanon, which is a multi-religious society, with many Muslim women especially, and like what have you done to rectify kind of these mistakes which kind of have like been done originally?
What have I done to rectify the act?
Yeah, so...
Yes. I dare you to shit on him. I dare you to not take responsibility. What have you done to fix your relationship with the country you fucking broke? You broke your not. She didn't break the country. She broke her name over the country. So what have you done to fix that? I'd like you to answer this question seriously. Take it seriously as a question. It's a good question. What have you done to fucking repair that?
So, what have you done to rectify what has happened? And how do you feel about the impact on Lebanon, which is where you're from, and like the multi-religious society in it, which is made of Muslim women?
Very good
like
question.
40%, I think it is.
I do feel guilty that women who look like me are instantly sexualized just because they have dark hair and
No, you were sexualized because you did porn. Stop. Answer the question.
glasses and
No.
are brown.
No.
So I do harbor a lot of guilt around that because it really breaks my heart. But I don't think that I've done much to rectify it because I don't feel like there's much to apologize for.
Okay, first of all, I fucked up. I thought you were saying that, I definitely said that wrong. Yeah, she's saying that because of her actions, people that look like her are sexualized. And she said that although she feels very bad, she doesn't feel like she did anything wrong. Here we go.
Rectify it because I don't feel like there's much to apologize for.
You couldn't, besides like actually committing a crime, you couldn't have done anything worse than represent your country and suck a cock wearing a hijab. That is the single most... You couldn't have done anything more disrespectful. You could have burned the hijab and it would have been less disrespectful. Literally. You could have stomped on the hijab, filmed it and posted it online, and it would have been less controversial than you sucking dick for 300,000 people online wearing a hijab. Let's think about all the things that would have been less. You could have thrown it out the window and filmed it. You could have eaten it and filmed it. It would have been less impactful. You could have filmed a video that said, I fucking hate Lebanon, and I don't like it. You could have done that. You could have filmed that video, and it would have less people would have saw, and it would have been less impactful. Do you know how many people have... You could still find it online. That's how many people. You could still find it. It's burned on the internet, and you don't give a fuck. A shit. Doesn't care. Here she is not caring in front of Oxford University. This is Mia Khalifa when she doesn't give a fuck about disrespecting an entire religion by wearing a religious artifact in a sex act and representing her home country as a malrepresentation. This is her not giving a shit. Watch this.
I do feel bad for the inherent effect that it has.
This is insanity. That guy doesn't even agree. He's clapping because they're clapping. This is insanity. You feel no shame. Guilt, but not shame. And the guilt is self-predicated. Like, it's internalized guilt. You don't feel guilt for your fucking image or what you've represented of yourself. You don't give a shit. This is a pity party. Guys, they're clapping for Mia Khalifa. You're getting an applause at Oxford University. What am I watching, bruv?
But I do feel bad for the women that it has inherently affected from that ripple.
So she feels bad for the women.
And the first part of the question was, you said you couldn't say no to the hijab thing because of you were 21, young. I just wanted to...
Wait, how old was she? 21? So doing pornography. Please don't show any images. 22 years old. 22 years old. People get out of the military at 22. 22. You weren't 17, you weren't 18, you weren't even 19. You were 22. You were old enough. You were not fucking groomed by old white men in a room. You were 22 years old. 22, dude. You gotta be fucking kidding me. 22, bro.
You to kind of expand a little bit on that point because...
Well, it wasn't so much that it was forced on me.
On God, it wasn't.
It's more so that there's different levels to coercion. There's there's coercion, there's force, and then there's also pressure.
Right.
And when you're young, you don't...
Young, 22, real young, super young. Almost like 18, except just a difference of 3 or 4, years.
Don't have that confidence to stand in your ground.
Don't have that confidence, right.
And say something, even though you feel it.
So it's coercion, and it's not your fault at all. It's everybody's fault but yours, because you signed the contract at 22 years old. It's their fault because they pressured you to do it, and you couldn't have said no because you're being pressured, and there's no possible way that you can have autonomy over your own fucking body. In your own hand, when you signed the fucking contract, they pressured you. They said, sign it, sign it, sign it. They chanted like this. A bunch of old guys in a room did this. This is what happened. This is an actual reenactment from when Mia Khalifa signed this fucking porn contract back in 2014. This is exactly what happened. There were 6 guys doing this in a circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. And they go, sign it, sign it, sign it, sign it, sign it, sign it. And she sat there and she goes, in 10 years, I might regret this decision, but there's no way I can say no because they're being so pressureful and I can't do anything. That's what happened. Stop it. Stop it. Take responsibility for your actions. She can't do it. She physically cannot. It is impossible for her to take responsibility. She just can't. Listen to this shit.
There's also a lot of intimidation that comes along with being a woman in a room of just men.
When you drove there, you didn't think that was going to happen. You thought it was just going to be a bunch of women. Right, okay.
And not knowing what a reaction would be. Like I was in a situation not very long ago, and I'm a 30-year-old woman.
Okay.
I did not want my friend to leave me alone in a room with somebody because I knew I was going to be asked something and I knew my answer would be no. And as a woman, you never know how a man is going to react when he is faced with rejection.
Right. It's scary. They'll beat the fuck out of you. All men are violent. Men are evil. And when you say no to a porn contract that you fucking agreed to in the first place, that you signed up for and everything like that, they will destroy you in that room. That's how it works. They pummel you into a pulp and you'll end up on the news. So, I mean, it's just how it is. Why were you even near that man? Why were you fucking with him? I don't have any people like that near me. I don't hang around people like that. You should have left the room. Right? You should have gone with your friend. Why'd you sit in the room? It's his fault that he intimidated you. It's not your fault for sitting in the room. Never takes responsibility. It's not possible. It's not possible.
It's a very scary feeling. So I think that's what I mean when I say I didn't want to do it.
Right. You didn't want to do it, but you did it. So for 2 months straight. Okay, that does make sense. Now that she explained it, it definitely makes sense.
Because I didn't.
You're not in your head? Yeah, I get it.
Want to do it. I knew.
You did.
I knew what the general reaction would be, but I also did not feel in my power enough to number one, walk away, or number two, say no at the very least.
Well, you should have thought about that before you signed up.
So perhaps the fame that might, like at the time, what you saw as might have been a fame from kind of this industry, would you say that kind of clouded your judgment a little bit, or?
No, because it was before that. Yeah, it was long before that. And as soon as that switch happened where it started to gain traction and it was in the media is instantly when I left. Reality really hit right away.
Okay, thank you.
And on that,
Okay, bro. Hey, we're gonna do a part 3 because this is getting super long and I'm getting hot. So, shit. Thanks for watching. Hey, check the next one.